Okay, so today we're on the negotiation Reddit and we're looking to give some advice to Moneyman6986. Here's what Moneyman says. They offered me $90,000. I asked for $105,000. I have multiple offers and they know this. They counteroffered with 99. The expiration of the offer is Monday. Today I said to them, quote, if you raise to 102K, I'll sign now. If not, I'll have to continue to think about this and wait until Monday to decide. They said 99K is the limit. I pretty much am definitely going to take this job. The other companies I like less. I was just hoping to get a few extra thousand. I feel like if I signed now, then I'd look dumb after saying I'd wait until Monday. But it would be really cool to have the job locked up before the weekend. What do you think? Do I wait until Monday to accept, or do I say, change my mind and I'll accept today? Okay, so first of all, congratulations on the offer. And secondly, there's a lot of unskillfulness going on in this particular negotiation. So lots of room for coaching on both sides. So this really sounds like a typical haggle. They offer 90, I say 105, and I say I have a number of offers. I don't know where the 90 came from. I don't know where the 105 came from. When someone throws out an offer, the first thing I always want to ask is, can you help me understand how you came to that? In other words, are there some kind of relevant standards and criteria, or is that just a random number in the dark? Similarly, if I'm going to counter, I want to have a reason for my number. 105 might be the right number. 110 might be the right number. 100 might be the right number. I don't know what the right number is. All I know is that any number I want to throw out in a negotiation is a number that is linked to some objective criteria. Because if I have some objective criteria and the other side doesn't, I automatically have a lot more legitimacy and grounding for my particular offer or number. Okay, but this is in haggle mode. And what's interesting, right, is it's 90 and 105, and then the employer comes back with 99. So in typical haggle form, my friend here, Moneyman, says, how about 102? And what's interesting here is they basically say, if you say yes, I'll accept now. Presumably this is a Friday. Otherwise, I need to think about it till Monday. This is fair enough, although it's unclear to me what's going to happen between Friday and Monday because it sounds like the other competing offers are already in. So if I'm on the employer side, to be honest, I am liking you less, money man, right? I am thinking you are just a money man. And it feels to me a little bit icky. And I get it. We're in a salary negotiation, but I'm feeling less good about you. Now, what's interesting here is Moneyman, right? His whole question is, now that I threw that out there, I'm thinking to myself, even if I don't get the 102, I'm going to say yes to this. What I've essentially done is created a weekend of anxiety for myself, right? So Moneyman is basically saying, do I just say yes so I have a weekend without stress? Or do I wait knowing what I'm going to do on Monday? I would say from a negotiation perspective, you kind of want to wait. Because if you say yes here, I get that you're being relieved, but at least as a negotiation expert, right, I'm thinking like, okay, this guy isn't all that skillful. Now, it turns out, as we keep reading this, that all of this becomes moot because what's amazing is that this note continues and says, update. They just called me and agreed to go up to 102. So good for you, Moneyman. I'm really glad. And Moneyman ends up accepting, and I think that's really great. But I would say this is not a negotiation where there is the kind of real skill that I would like to see in a salary negotiation, partially for the reasons that I've already mentioned, but also it occurs to me that there's so much else that could have been talked about and negotiated here that is just missed. And this is so common in a new job offer situation where, to the degree any kind of negotiation happens, it immediately turns into a salary negotiation where there's a lot of haggling and then hopefully the parties meet in the middle. So what's missed here? Well, presumably our friend Moneyman has a whole bunch of other interests, right? Like this is where he's continuing his career. So he may have interests in what's the trajectory for promotion? Are there bonus opportunities? What does vacation and benefits look like? Can I work from home? There may be negotiations around title or who his manager is, or possibilities for a promotion within 3 months or a salary evaluation sooner than a year, right? All of these negotiations that might have been much easier yeses from the employer perspective, maybe that could have created all sorts of mutual value, end up not getting addressed. Instead, we have a single issue negotiation that's focused over an entirely distributive question around salary that then has the added tension of arbitrary deadlines, right? And I see the first of these arbitrary deadlines, right, is, as Moneyman says, the expiration of the offer is Monday. Now, I get why an employer puts an expiration on an offer because they don't want it to be open-ended forever. On the other hand, often this is done strategically to force a decision. There's no actual particular reason, nothing magical about what's going to happen on Monday. I've had this happen in my own context on various occasions. One time when I was negotiating a book contract, for example, my agent said, "Oh, the publisher really needs to have an answer by close of business Friday." And I said, "Well, why is that?" "Oh, well, they really want to know." I get why they would want to know, but we're entering into a book contract that will take several years to write the book. What is magical about close of business on Friday, right? It is a tactic. And so my own feeling is that when I see deadlines put out there, I'm not going to necessarily say I won't agree to it, but I want to understand why it's there. If it's there to drive a decision, that is a fair interest, but then I might negotiate for a deadline that actually gave me some reflection time that didn't just create a scarcity bias mentality to force a decision. So lots of lessons here, right? This ends up working out really well for Moneyman. It's not a model of how I'd like to see a negotiation go for salary, but it offers a lot of richness. So the lessons that worked well, right, is Moneyman decides to negotiate. I always think with respect to salary and to negotiate, you should negotiate. But what ends up getting missed here are opportunities for joint value. And what ends up getting avoided is a way of linking salary to external criteria so that it isn't about who can hold out the longest or who's willing to trick whom or who set the right bottom line, but rather both of us can feel that this salary is grounded in something that is legitimate and feels fair-minded. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and ring the bell so you never miss new content. And please watch this next video, a collaboration with my friends at Mended Light and a look at Ted Lasso. Okay, click, 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 keep watching.